All right, looks like it's about 5 o'clock in the morning. Monday morning. Looks like the 21st. First thing I got to do is get rid of my helpers. There's one. I see another one over there. And we got rid of them, and there we go. So let's take a quick look at this pumpkin plant this morning. And it looks to me like we are going to have to do a pollination here. It's 5 o'clock and it's maybe 65 or 68 degrees. And I'm guessing that she's going to open, but hasn't yet. So let's be patient. Okay, so it's about 7:15 or so. We've given the female a bit more time to open, and let's go check it out. Okay. You can see that female is open. It looks like a reasonable blossom. Not ideal, not 100%, maybe. Pretty good. How's that? But good enough to pollinate and good enough to get excited about. So just as a quick look here, this is the 2003 plant, from the 2003 Heist seed. This 2003 seed is the one that grew my 1936, the biggest one that I've ever grown, and so that's why I chose to grow it again. You can see the plant is really a good looking plant. That female right there, I would guess, is about 16, maybe 15 or 16 feet from the stump, which is an ideal spot. Some question about when do you pollinate, and let's just take a look at a number of different things to consider. One is how many secondaries you have before the pumpkin, and on this side, as we travel up here, we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 secondaries before the pumpkin, so I would consider that a very good spot. On this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 3, 6, 9, 10 also. So 10 on each side is sort of where is the target number, 10 on each side, 20 side vines. That's kind of awesome. Normally I don't get 10 on each side, but in this case we have a good looking plant. Plant is 70 days old. 70 days ago is when I put that seed in water to get it started. So this is 70 days progress. And when you think about where we're headed, we're going to pollinate today, and we have roughly 100-ish days to the Topsville Fair, which is the fair that I will take this pumpkin to if everything works out well. So right now, this is a pretty good spot. Okay, so I've collected 3 males, and I am going to start by putting that pollen right there in every nook and cranny that I can find. There's one. There's 2. You want to see if you can get as much pollen off of these males as you can. That looks pretty good. And this final one, loaded with pollen there, so this is good. You can see all the grains of pollen on that pistil, and at the end all over that female, so that's a very good result. Plenty of pollen, plenty of pollen. I don't know if it makes a whole lot of difference how much pollen goes on there, but makes me feel like I did a good job if it's loaded. Okay, so we can see that, let's see, I've got a zip tie that I put around the blossom, and so that is now protected from bees and other insects that either want to steal pollen or bring additional pollen. I'm happy that we had a good pollination with what we did. So that's the pumpkin today, the day after the summer solstice, which is considered to be the ideal time for pollination. So this is really a good spot and a good time. There is one more additional opportunity that I see here, another 2.5 or 3 feet down the main vine. That pumpkin should open, I would say, a few days from now. That'll give us one more opportunity. Going back up north here, there's the pumpkin that we pollinated, oh, I don't know, 9 or 10, maybe 11 days ago. And that's, I don't know if that's a good looking shape or not. It doesn't really look like a great shape to me. And is it big enough? I'm not sure. I'm going to cut that off. That's about maybe 9 or 10 feet, maybe 10 feet from the stump. And then we have another one right there that I pollinated just a few days ago at 2 o'clock in the afternoon in the hot sun, really just to see if it would work. So we'll follow that and see what that looks like in a few days. One more thing before we leave the 2003 plant is, let's look right here. Once I saw that I had a pumpkin in a spot that I really liked, notice that on a hot day in the middle of the afternoon, I turned the vine. I bent that vine in the direction of the pumpkin. You can see that. And then on another hot day, slowly, inch by inch, I rebent that main vine to come back this way. So there's sort of an S curve, which puts the pumpkin at a spot where it can grow without producing pressure on the vine. I will also take a look right there and note that that's a beautiful looking stem. That stem is about 2.5 inches long at this point. Normally you don't get a stem that long, and that's another good thing for keeping the pumpkin out of trouble, particularly when it starts to apply pressure to the vine. So there's an S curve at the end. I'll show you another S curve up here. Let's go to the other plant. This is the Boonin, the 2026 Boonin. Another good looking plant. And you will notice that right here, as I saw a pumpkin that I really liked, potentially, I started with the S curve. I bent the vine in the direction of the pumpkin, and then I start to bend it back. That keeps it at a curve, on the edge of a curve, and out of trouble. This 2226 Boonen is a seed from Belgium. You can see that pumpkin that we I just described. That's about 10, I would say 15 or 16 feet out on the main vine. And you can see that has a few days, maybe only a couple of days before it opens. But that's also in a good spot, and I've done a good job positioning that vine. So that would be something to get excited about. In terms of size, this plant is similar in size to the other one, a little bit smaller looking, because some of these side vines right here I buried too long, and they're having to catch up a little bit with the rest of the plant that you can see here. In terms of side vine numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it could be 10 side vines on this side also, and I think 1 or 2 less on this other side. 1, 2, 3, depending upon if we can get that last one, 3, 6, there's 9 vines on this side. So another good spot, really good timing. That should open in a day or two. There's still over 100 days to the weigh-offs. Good. Pretty exciting stuff.